If you're planning a cruise in 2026, you need to hear this because many of the perks, prices, and policies you're used to are about to change, and not in small ways. From loyalty programs being rewritten to new fees hiding in the fine print, your next vacation may cost more and include less. In this video, we break down the 8 biggest cruise changes coming in 2026 that every traveler should know. 1. The Great Loyalty Reshuffle. Cruise loyalty programs are getting major overhauls, and depending on the cruise line you sail with, the changes will either help you or frustrate you. Royal Caribbean Group is introducing Points Choice, a system that lets you choose which loyalty program your points go toward. Royal Caribbean, Celebrity, or Silversea, no matter which brand you sail. This gives cruisers unprecedented flexibility. It sounds great, right? But here's the question. Will other lines follow the same path, or will this be a one-brand advantage? Because on the other side of the industry, Carnival is moving in the opposite direction. Their long-running VIFP program is being replaced with Carnival Rewards, starting June 1st, 2026. And instead of earning status by nights at sea, you'll earn status based on how much you spend. Is this fair? Some cruisers say yes, it rewards big spenders. Others say it punishes families, budget travelers, and people who prefer shorter trips. The shift feels like a test. If passengers accept it, will other lines switch to spend-based loyalty too? Carnival did soften the blow by guaranteeing current Platinum and Diamond members keep their status until launch. But the question remains, will this change push longtime Carnival fans away? 2. The rising nickel and dime effect. Cruise lines are quietly adding small fees everywhere, and these micro-charges add up faster than people realize. Norwegian Cruise Line sparked controversy by adding a $5 fee for a second entree in the main dining room. They say it's to reduce food waste. But ask yourself, what happens when your first entree is cold or undercooked? Should you have to pay extra just to get a proper meal? This isn't the only fee creeping in. On Norwegian's private island, Great Stirrup Cay, the free-at-sea beverage package won't work starting March 1st, 2026. You'll need a separate island drink package or pay per drink. Does it make sense to buy a drink package that suddenly stops working the moment you step onto the cruise line's own island? Room service is tightening too. Delivery fees range from $4.95 to $12.99, and Norwegian now limits how many dishes you can order per delivery. Even bedding policies are shifting, with some cabins removing top sheets to support sustainability. You decide whether that feels like eco-friendly progress or a quiet cost cut. Even Royal Caribbean is raising prices. Late-night childcare at Adventure Ocean is jumping to $15 per hour per child. If you're cruising with kids, that small change becomes a noticeable nightly expense. One question remains. If these small charges continue growing, when does the cruise stop feeling all-inclusive? 3. The all-inclusive illusion. Cruise lines have marketed themselves as all-inclusive for years, but 2026 is the year that illusion fully cracks. Virgin Voyages built its identity on one simple price. No tipping, no hidden fees. But now, gratuities are no longer included. Expect to pay $20 to $22 per person per day. For a 7-night cruise, that's an extra $140 to $150 per person. Virgin is also switching to voyage fare choices, turning their simple pricing model into a tier system with base, essential, and premium. The question is, does this make things clearer or more complicated? Many loyal Virgin cruisers say it feels like they're now just another cruise line. Princess Cruises is shifting as well. They're lowering fares, but the catch is serious. Non-refundable deposits become the default option. Refundable deposits still exist, but you'll pay more for them. So yes, the upfront price looks cheaper, but is it really? Cruising is slowly becoming less about simplicity and more about reading the fine print. And as you compare fares, you need to ask, what am I actually getting here? 4. Paradise for a price. Private islands used to be included perks, fun, relaxing, and cost-friendly. But now, cruise lines are transforming them into premium destinations that often require additional spending. Norwegian's massive expansion of Great Stirrup Cay brings water parks, new dining, and a brand new pier. But remember, the free-at-sea drink package won't work here. So the question becomes, do the upgrades justify the new costs? Royal Caribbean's new Royal Beach Clubs take things even further. These are not free destinations. They require a paid day pass, often costing between $170 and $300 per person. That's on top of your cruise fare. Some cruisers love the upscale atmosphere. Others say it's turning cruising into a series of expensive upsells instead of cultural experiences. If you're already paying thousands for the trip, should a beach day cost hundreds more? It raises a bigger question. Are private islands turning into luxury resorts designed to contain you instead of letting you explore freely? 5. The hidden cruise tax shock. Many travelers don't notice the taxes, fees, and surcharges added to their fare until the final booking page. But in 2026, these hidden costs are rising globally, and fast. Hawaii is introducing a new passenger tax starting January 1st, 2026. It's roughly a 14% charge on the portion of your fare tied to days in Hawaiian waters. That can mean $50, or it can mean $500 per person. For some cruisers, this instantly turns Hawaii into a destination that's out of budget. Mexico's non-resident tourism tax is increasing again. Greece continues its seasonal port tax. Amsterdam is raising its day visitor fees. Even the U.S. Virgin Islands is increasing port charges. Individually, these tax increases seem manageable. But here's the question. What happens when your itinerary includes 4, 5, or even 6 of these ports? Suddenly, the taxes cost more than the balcony upgrade you wanted. These increases aren't optional, and they're not controlled by cruise lines, but they change the true cost of cruising, quietly. 6. Green rules, higher costs. Environmental regulations are tightening, especially across Europe. And while they're good for the planet, they're expensive for cruise lines, and those costs eventually reach the passenger. From 2026 onward, ships must use cleaner, low-sulfur fuels or LNG in more regions. They're also facing new emission control rules, waste management regulations, and stricter port policies. Some destinations, including Venice, Santorini, Dubrovnik, and parts of Alaska, will enforce daily passenger caps. Others will ban megaships entirely. Cruise lines are already adjusting itineraries, rerouting ships, and replacing popular ports with alternative stops. Here's what travelers don't always realize. Cleaner fuel, new technology, and route changes all cost money. And many cruise lines are beginning to introduce new environmental surcharges within the taxes and fees section. So you'll pay more and sometimes get fewer port choices in return. Is that a fair trade-off? It depends on how much you value sustainability. 7. Shorter itineraries, higher prices. Here's a trend you may not expect. Cruise lines are quietly shifting toward shorter itineraries with more sea days, while raising prices at the same time. Why? Sea days cost cruise lines far less than port days. Ports charge fees, require fuel, and need logistics. Sea days simply don't. But from the passenger perspective, is a cheaper to operate itinerary worth the same price? Or more? Many lines are also replacing authentic cultural ports with private islands or beach clubs, where passengers spend more on board instead of supporting local businesses. This shift saves cruise lines money, but does it reduce the value of the experience? That's a question every traveler must consider. 8. Dynamic pricing for everything. The final major shift coming in 2026 is one most travelers aren't prepared for. Dynamic pricing. Think airline pricing, but for cruises. Your drink package price may change depending on demand. Specialty dining may cost more one day and less the next. Almost every add-on is moving toward fluctuating pricing. Two people on the same sailing may pay completely different prices for the exact same product. And booking early doesn't guarantee the best deal anymore. You need to check prices repeatedly, monitor promos, and adjust your add-ons at the right time. Cruise lines win here. They maximize revenue. But for passengers, the question becomes, how many hours do you want to spend comparing prices just to get a fair deal? 2026 is bringing one of the biggest shifts cruising has ever seen. Some changes improve the experience, some add complexity, and some increase costs quietly in the background. If this video was helpful, make sure to like the video, subscribe, and stay tuned for more clear, no-nonsense cruise updates.